Now we're going to talk about the difference between a mold test and a mold inspection because they are completely different. At Metro Property Inspection, mold inspection is done as part of any home inspection, and an inspection simply means that we are looking for the presence of what could be potentially mold growth on the surface of anything that we encounter during the inspection. The only tools required for a mold inspection is essentially a flashlight. Now, mold testing is a completely different process. In a mold testing procedure, we actually sample what we believe to be potentially sporadic or mold growth. And those samples can be taken in one of two ways. We can put an air cassette in the home or in the environment, which draws in samples of air where they're sent to a lab. Those air samples are assessed and measured to determine what, if any, levels of mold are present, what kind and in what volume. Another method that we can use is an actual physical swab test. So if you can imagine a really large Q-tip, we actually swab the surface that we find in question, put that in a sterilized container, and ship that to a lab as well. Now, one of the most critical parts of a mold test is that we test the outdoors of the environment as well. So in a typical test, we will do 3 samples. In a house like this, we do one in the basement because that's the area most likely or most prone to mold growth. Then we do one on the main living space, and then the third would be conducted on the exterior. Now, the exterior mold sample is done as a control. Essentially, mold exists everywhere. So what we need to know is what exists in the environment outside, because it's very likely to be inside the house as well. So that is our control. And anything that is in the house but not outside, we know has been introduced or has grown here, and that is potentially what we need to concern ourselves with. So mold inspection means we look for it with a flashlight. Mold testing involves samples of items, whether it be air or the actual surface of a particular material, and lab analysis. And no one can call mold mold unless it has been diagnosed to be mold from a lab sample.